Changing the tail seal on an Overdrive is fairly straightforward, so I'm just going to do that today. In honesty, the D-type Overdrive, which is what this one is, you can tell it's a D, not a J, because it's got a steel inspection cover on the side of the Overdrive, whereas a J-type Overdrive has an aluminium inspection cover on the bottom of the Overdrive. So this is a D-type, and they're always pretty leaky. So, you know, don't be too surprised, and basically learn to love it. However, if it's the tail seal that's leaking as well, then we can do something about that fairly easily. So let's go about it. I've already taken the split pin out of the castle nut. Pleasingly, that comes off very easily. Now, I think you can do this in situ in the vehicle, but it can be a little bit tight on trying to get a useful tool in there to extract the seal. It can probably be done, and then equally, it's going to be slightly awkward to get a decent square drive to press it back in again. So if you've got an excuse to take the Overdrive out of the car, for instance, it's a clutch change, then do so. You'll find it a lot easier. Out with the seal, and in with the new seal. Would you like a quick impression of a seal? Oh, 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 oh. Okay, we'll take this over to the press now and just gently press it in flush. Right, I've got a couple of usefully appropriate items for drifting the seal back into the casing. One is an old crankshaft sleeve from a B18 B20 motor, but that's not quite deep enough, so I'm using a bearing outer as well. There we go, that's plenty. And we're going to take it till it's just flush. Going nicely in there. I'm happy with that. There it is. There we go. Right. Just check around the surface that mates with the seal, and if it looks as though there's crud on in the area, then use a small length of Scotch-Brite and just polish up that surface. Scotch-Brite is terribly useful stuff. There you go, that's nicely polished up. And clean it off. A little dob of very light smear of grease around it. There it is. On with the washer, on with the nut. And then 100 Newton meters. There we go. And finally, of course, not forgetting the split pin. Oh, we're almost at the hole. tighten it up a little bit beyond your 100 Newton meters so that the hole matches up with the castle. There it is. Right, that's it. Then we just have to load the overdrive back onto the gearbox. Noting that you'll want to get the correct gasket. If I just pair this one off, it's this plug down here that's the critical bit in the gasket. You need the hole for that. So yes, always make sure you buy the D-type gasket if it's a D-type overdrive you're doing, or the J-type mating gasket if that's the unit you're working on. There it is. There's the significantly large hole for the bottom plug there. And that's what makes it a D-type gasket, not a J-type. Many people will just sell you an overdrive gasket, but that means you've got to modify it, and it's easier just to get the right item in the first place. There we go. That's ready to receive its new gasket and load it back on. That is a tail seal replacement on an overdrive unit. The J-type's almost identical. Thank you.